talking, yapping, chatting a little bit. So, oh, dang, I gotta get my notes. Hold on. Oh, where's my notes? Ugh. One second. My notes. Ugh. Okay. I love having notes, because then I remember things. Yay. So, hey everybody. I'm back from my trip to Gencon, out there in Indianapolis, Indiana. We drove. I got a few little pics from the drive up, just because it was very pretty. This was we started out. I'm in Virginia, so we started out driving, kind of like gosh, 3 a.m. or so. So it was dark for a bit of the start of it, but then as we hit the mountains, the sun rose and we got this beautiful view. I had to take a picture of that, even though it was in a car, so it's not the greatest picture in the world, but you know, it was just so pretty up there, and it was great. Really liked that drive. There's another nice view just straight ahead while we were driving. The whole drive was great until we got to Ohio. And then Ohio was just corn. It was just flat and corn, and that's Ohio. Oh no, is the music kind of loud? I'm so sorry. Ooh. Give me 1 second here. All my windows are all humby-jumby. Let's turn this down. There we go. That should be a little better. Oh, well, it's fading out, so I don't actually know. Give me the next song. There we go. That's probably fine. Hopefully now you can hear me talk. Anyway, the drive was pretty good except for Ohio, which was endless and flat, and it was just like corn, and then that's it, and that's Ohio. Which is, it wasn't unexpected. You know, that's what I expect out of the Midwest. I pretty much grew up in Missouri. I know how it is. Lots of trips to Illinois to see like family and stuff. So lots of corn and nothing is what I'm used to on road trips. But it was just hard to handle after driving through the mountains and seeing all this beautiful stuff. It was also extremely foggy because of the time of day we were going through the mountains, which was kind of fun. And then like. This picture is like the average amount of fog, I'd say. And then there were other times where it was probably a lot closer, like up close to like around where this sign is distance-wise, and you just couldn't see anything. It was total Silent Hill, but it was you know, it was early morning. There weren't a lot of cars out there yet, so it was okay. I had a good time driving it. You know. Sorry. Blah 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 blah. But then we got over to Indianapolis, and my phone took this horribly upscaled picture because I had to zoom in to try and get like a nice skyline view at all, and it doesn't look great. But it was fun. Like, you know, after all of the Ohio, finally seeing the city. We got there, we stayed overnight, and then the first morning. First day of Gen Con, I had this amazing breakfast at the hotel. The like tomatoes and spinach here were like picked fresh from like their garden. It was so good. Oh my god, it was like the best eggs Benedict I've ever had. I was very happy. And then you know, we went out, hit the show floor. I didn't really have anything scheduled to do the first day. I was just kind of wandering around, and I made sure I wanted to beeline for the Gundam stuff, because I wanted to get me some Gundam card game, Gundam minis. And there was some fun things on the show floor, like this giant Warhammer model thing. I can't remember the name of these, but it was kind of fun. But the Gundam card game booth was fairly packed, even though they weren't selling anything there. Which I was confused by. I thought I'd be able to just walk up and buy some Gundam stuff, but no. Gundam has a card game. It does. It's new. It like just came out pretty much in July, which is part of why they were so weird about selling it at Gencon, I think. They had a promo card giveaway at the booth, and then they had another thing where like you could learn to play the game and get like a little demo deck and stuff. They've got some of the minis for the Gundam miniatures game that's coming out next year. I'm pretty excited about that. These all look awesome. They don't come painted. It's like, you know, you gotta paint them. But unlike Warhammer and stuff, they snap together. Just like the Gundam model kits. So like you don't have to use glue. I'd probably still like want to use a little bit of glue or plastic cement or something just to kind of attach them firmly. Because like if something's not got joints, you know, you want to kind of lock it down. But like they seem pretty easy to build, and they're a little larger than those, I think, so they'll be easier to paint too. They had some of the card stuff here on display. These, I think these are just like some random cards. Yeah, these aren't like the super rare variants or whatever, but they've got stuff from this is almost all Gundam Wing. Yeah, this is like all Gundam Wing stuff. They've even got the I'll kill you birthday invite as a card, which is really fun. The card game, I will talk about it when I get to me being able to play it, because I did get to play it. But like the art on all of the cards is so good. It's so good. Like I'm in love with this card game already, and I've barely gotten to really check it out. They also were selling like this special Gencon, I guess, I don't know if it's Gencon only, but it was like an exclusive like bundle thing with these sets of like these fancy resource cards and like a play mat and a storage box and stuff. It was cool. Have no insight into Gundam. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's the thing about Gundam is like, even if you don't really know what it's about, it's still, the robots look cool. And that's all you really gotta know. I'm a Gundam head. I'm big on Gundam. But I was excited seeing these. I was hoping maybe I could pick one of these up, and then I found out it was like an $80 bundle for just a bunch of resource cards. Resource cards in the Gundam card game are kind of equivalent to like, I think like lands in Magic the Gathering, or like energies in the Pokemon card game. I'm not paying that much for a bunch of those. Like these, they're not even like typed. Like these all have different designs, but resource is just resource, right? So you can use any of these in any deck because they're all the same generic card functionally. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. I can get other resource cards. But I did manage to get in on a play session after trying a couple times because they kept filling up before I could get there. But eventually, like around noon, something like 12 people just didn't show up, even though they had signed up for the event. So they were able to let a lot of us that were just kind of hanging around in to play. I got to play the Xeon deck against someone who was really, really nice, who was playing the like, I guess it's like a Federation deck, but it's not entirely like a Federation, but like the whole thing was like the first 6 or so turns were kind of scripted, and it was very clearly like just set up to engineer a showdown between Amuro and Char, and it was fun. I ended up winning the match once we kind of got unshackled from the preset turns, but really only because the other guy was helping me out. I haven't played a lot of card games before. Like, I pretty much have just played the Pokemon trading card game and Magic like once. So, but he was really nice, and he loved my shirt. I was wearing a shirt that day that had the I guess most people know it as like the Sailor Moon Gundam from G Gundam. It's the Nobel MTG or Commander, though. I have never played Commander, and when I say I played Magic the Gathering, I mean back in like middle school. I played it like maybe 2 times. I don't really remember much about Magic. I know some of the basics of like what a land is, but that's really it. I am tempted to get into Magic sometime, maybe with the Spider-Man set that's coming up. That Sonic Secret Lair drop had me really tempted, but it was so expensive and limited that I didn't get a chance to get it. Yeah, Pokemon and some games of Commander. The like Pokemon trading card games, pretty simple. I played a lot of that online a couple years back. I had a good time with it. But the Gundam card game's pretty cool. Each turn you kind of get another like resource card, so it kind of builds up like I guess the best comparison is something like Hearthstone or Marvel Snap, where you get like more energy as the game progresses, and it caps out at like 10. You've got to like attack these shield areas, so they'll have like a base, and then they'll have like 6 cards that are shields, and they can equip like other bases, and it'll let them swap like one of their shield cards into their hand for playing a base. And there's like, that's like your defensive stuff. The battle area, like you can play mechs, you can play pilots into those mechs to like give them stat boosts or sometimes special skills. If you're matching like the correct pilot with one of their units that has their name on it, it means they can attack like immediately the turn they've been played and not have to wait a turn, which is pretty cool. So like my deck was very much like get a bunch of Zaku's out, get like Char out in his Zaku, and just like boo ba boo ba 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 boo ba ba. Start blasting, and I started blasting, and it was fun. I really enjoyed what I played of that card game. I'm looking forward to trying and like building a deck or something, and maybe playing somewhere local. I'm excited about it. I love Gundam. So, hey Dark Yoshi, welcome. I'm talking about Gencon right now. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Gundam card game, and it turns out I was lucky enough that I sat down on the side that was playing the Xeon decks, because then they gave me one of the Xeon sample decks to take home with me. And those aren't tournament legal, but like, you know, they're cards. I can check them out. They're cool. Yeah, this is the Xeon deck they gave me, and this Soletta resource promo card for playing in the Learn to Play event, and then this other one, this Gundam Wing, I think that's Hero promo card, is from going over to like the booth where they were not selling the game, and like showing them that, like, oh yeah, I retweeted a post or whatever. Whoa, sorry. My throat got a frog in it for a sec there. But it's cool. So like day one, I was like kind of grumpy because I couldn't just like go buy a starter deck or anything, but I did at least get some stuff. And then day two, actually, did I have anything else in my day one notes here? Let's see. Oh yes, I got 6 street passes on my 3DS on day one. Very exciting. Always bring your 3DS to conventions full of nerds. You will get street passes. It still happens in 2025. Some stuff that I had been hoping to check out, unfortunately didn't really have anything new. The Power Rangers tabletop RPG, which I like that game. I think it's fun to make your own little goofy Power Ranger. They basically had nothing. I think that game might be dead, unfortunately. And then like the day I say this, of course Fortnite drops like a Power Rangers season trailer. So like maybe I'm just crazy and they're waiting to do a Power Rangers relaunch soon. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Dark Yoshi. You got 0 on your weekend clone? Oh, I'm so sorry. It's always worth bringing it though, because if someone else does, you know, all it takes is 2 people and you get a street pass. The Transformers tabletop RPG, same system as the Power Rangers one, so they're cross-compatible, which is very fun. Had like a Transformers 1 book, like based on the movie. And it's kind of like, I don't really need that. And there were a lot of people in line for the Gundam stuff. But then day 2, wahoo! I woke up really early because they had told me that the way to buy Gundam stuff was I needed to come in at 8 a.m. and get a ticket that would tell me when I'm allowed to come back and actually purchase something. So before, you know, I did that. I got my ticket, and then I played this game Wingspan with some folks over in the gosh, what was it called? It was like a queer gamers kind of room thing. It was cool. They were cool people. It turned out that they actually didn't have enough people to play the game until me and and my friend Jesse showed up, and they were like, oh, thank God someone's here and is willing to play any game so we can actually play this. It was neat. It's like you're kind of like playing birds to like kind of build an engine out of birds that generates like food and eggs and cards to like make your engine better, and trying to hit like certain objectives. So it was like round 1, it's like you wanted to be the one who has the most like water birds, and then round 2 was like you want to have the most eggs in this type of nest, and so on and so forth. It was really fun, honestly. And it was educational. A neat game, a game neat enough that Jesse picked up a copy of it to bring home. It seems like one of those games that, like, once you and your friends have it down, like, you can kind of play it like passively while you're hanging out and talking about stuff, right? Which is like, oh man, I need more of those. I need more games that like have strategy and are just complex enough to be interesting each time without requiring my entire brain. What was the name? It was called Wingspan. I'll just type it in chat. Wingspan. I believe they also have a there's like a dragon version of it that's called like Wormspan, and a fish version of it called like Finspan or something. There is a digital version, yeah. I need to look into that. But yeah, we can play sometime, Sarah. That could be cool. But it is fun. I like it. What else was there? Oh yeah, so this, Sarah, I'm glad you're here, because, oh my god. There's an Agents of Mayhem tabletop game with so many expansions. What? What the hell? So we actually talked to the guy at the booth there, and he was like, yeah, this game actually sells really well for us, even though the video game didn't do well. And as their Kickstarter for this game was going on, was like the same time that like the Saints Row devs and stuff, the company that owned this, like, all went under. So they're kind of in this weird spot where they made a game that people seem to really like, and they can't really make more of it because they don't own the license. And it was just like, oh my god. But yeah, like there's like a Johnny Gat expansion and all these specific like characters and gangs and all this stuff. And I was like, man, if I had the money, I would just buy all of this up, because this is crazy that it exists. Is this one of those premium mini games? I don't totally know. I think it's like, he made it sound like it was like scenario based, right? So it's like a self-contained game, but you can get like characters and scenarios that add on to it. So I don't think it's like a minis driven, but I don't 100% know for sure. I haven't looked up a lot about it. I was more interested in kind of the business side of like, how the hell does this exist and is being shown off at Gencon 2025? Of course, all of this is like discounted too, but like not by much. This wasn't like, oh, we gotta get rid of these kind of prices, right? Like this was $37 and now it's $30. This was $25, now it's $20. So it's like, you know, reasonable discount kind of stuff. But it's just nuts that this exists. Absolutely nuts. I don't even know what to think about it. And there was a big owl. I thought it was cute. Look at that owl. And then we stumbled across this on the show floor, which is a game that was announced like while we were out on the floor. Oh, it is one of those? Okay. Man, it's yeah, that's crazy. But this was The Sims board game, which I was immediately skeptical of them turning The Sims into a board game. Like, even as I zoom in here, like, you can kind of see a little bit of what's going on. There's like the needs tracker stuff, and you're like moving your sim to like Plumb Bob, like this guy here, to like different locations that'll like push some needs up and other needs down, and you're trying to like balance everything out. It was like so weird, because no one knew this existed until the second day of Gen Con. And it was only $20, so we picked up a copy. Because, like, come on, it's $20 and it sounds like an insane concept for board games. Sure. Apparently there's, like, iconic Sims characters that can show up. I don't have a lot of pictures of the cards because they weren't really demoing the game. They were just kind of, like, explaining it. In this little booth, you can almost see a little bit of it here. I should have taken a better picture of the booth, but it was so crowded. The whole little area of the booth here was set up like a living room in The Sims with like furniture that was very distinctly like from The Sims. Like it had one of those little, like a mini of like those cow pitcher plant guys. And it had like some mugs with like the Sims like bunny on it and stuff. It was cute. But just a baffling choice for a board game. I guess because it's just such a big IP. I did appreciate that they had the original like Sims 1 cover here, but like Simlish-ified. And like I said, it was $20. We picked it up. It was, it was nice. I did then go back and get my Gundam stuff. They were out of the normal starter decks, so there was a limit of like one normal starter deck, one Gundam Assemble set deck, and then, what was it, 12 booster packs? My original plan was, I'm gonna get one of the starter decks, I'm gonna get a Gundam Assemble set, because that's got another starter deck in it, and it's got the Xeon minis that I want for the game that's out next year. And then I'll just get, like, 5 to 8 booster packs or something. But they were out of starter decks, so I just got the maximum amount of boosters, and I got my Xeon set. I'm pretty happy to have the Xeon deck thing. I know it is, people online don't seem to think it's like the optimal one or whatever for a starter deck, but I just love Xeon. I love Char. And it's full of Zakus. My little baby Zakus. Whoa, Fly Online, the board game. You heard it here first, folks. Incredible. But of course, what you really want to see with card games is the polls. So in that starter deck pack, I got an LR Plus from the little like single card booster in there, which you can see it's the same as this guy, but just a fancier. It looks cool. It's got shiny stuff on it. Apparently this is like a $40 card when I was looking online last night, and that starter pack cost me $35, so that's profit, baby! Not that I'm selling anything. I mean, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna play this card. LR Plus, absolutely, because this is a thing that I had to find out what it meant. So the Gundam card game has normal card rarities like common, uncommon, rare, and then the step up from that is LR, which is like legendary rare. Then there are art variants of them, which are designated by a plus, or extra rare art variants, which are designated by a plus. So LR plus doesn't necessarily mean it's like the next tier up from LR, it's that it's a variant of an LR. And I've got an example of this here in the cards I pulled, the nice cards I got from my boosters. These are my LRs, and then I got another LR plus and an R plus. So R plus, as far as I can tell, is about the same rarity as LR plus because they're both alt art cards. Even though this is a rare, since it's a variant, it gets the plus and has all the shiny text and stuff. I really love the art on this Sayla R plus card too. Now, my info might not be complete, and also I didn't get in a single plus card, but there was some cool stuff. The Char's Gelgoog, I think, will probably go straight into my deck, because, you want Char piloting that thing, and it seems like it's designed to kind of synergize with, to dig into the mechanics of the Xeon deck a little bit. When Char's piloting the Char's Zaku and it gets destroyed, he and the Zaku go to the graveyard, but then you play a, like, Zaku token to kind of, like, have the mech come back. And then this card is, like, if a pilot's not paired with this unit, you can choose a new type pilot that's level 3 or lower from your trash and pair it with this, which means you can pull Char back out of the trash after he's been sent there and pair it with the Gelgoog. Which then I think means it should be able to attack immediately on summoning and get the boosted stats. So there's like a flow there to help you kind of do the rushdown thing. And I don't have enough cards for like a proper deck right now, but it's still pretty cool. I didn't really look much into some of this other stuff. The Death Scythe and the Assault Shroud, I might get some use out of. Oh yes, deck build rules. There's 50 cards in a deck, and you can only use 2 colors. So as you can kind of see here, like this one's red, this one's green, this one's green, this one's white, this one's blue, this one's blue. So you can do like a red-green deck, which is what the default Zaku Zeon deck is, and that's probably what I'm gonna build for. The Gundam deck right now is a white-blue. They're focused. The colors are focused kind of on different things. Green is like seeking cards, and include resources restriction. So resources are not restricted. There's no colors associated with resources, at least so far. That might change in the future. I don't know. But resources are purely visual. So like those, if I can pop back, boopity boopity boppity beep. Like these 2 resources, you can see like they're black, so they're like colorless, I think is the intent there. Resources are just resources. So these 2 resource cards could just go in any deck in the place of any generic resource. A resource is a resource with the exception of this EX resource, which is specifically like if you're the person that goes second, you get an EX resource to start out to make up for the disadvantage of going second. And yeah, like here's another thing, like this Sinanju, like during pairs, that means if you've got a pilot paired with this, it gains high maneuver and can't be blocked. So you have some units that you really want to put pilots on, some that don't really get a benefit from it. And then some that like really do. Like a lot of these big ones definitely gain a benefit from being paired at all. And then like there are specific things that you get from like pairing it with the right pilot. You can see the names of the pilots down here in this little link area. And then again, like she is a pilot here also, so you can kind of see like she gives +1/+1 to their offense and defense. While this unit is blue, so if she's attached to, let's say, the Gundam, then it gains repair 1 and can heal 1 HP each turn. It's cool. Like, there's cool interplay here. I really like equipping pilots to cards. And, like, it keeps it from getting crazy, because, like, you can't have, like, 2 pilots in one mobile suit, or at least so far. I don't know. They might do that. And you usually want to have, like, the correct one linked to them, but you can have anyone. I could have Sayla pilot the Gelgoog if I had a blue-green deck going or something, you know? She just wouldn't give it that while this unit is blue thing, unless you had something that made the Gelgoog count as a blue unit, I guess. And, you know, card game stuff. There's a lot going on. It's cool. It's cool. I'm very excited about it. And then, whoop, just a shot of the crowds. You know, you always want a shot of the crowds. Look at that. Oh, wow, thumbnail. Oh, pog, crowds. Oh my god, there's people. And what was, let's see, the rest of my notes. I took a nap and I ate noodles and I fucked up my foot. One of my left foot got a thing happened to it, and I was bleeding a lot the latter half of the day. And I didn't know that until I got back to the hotel room, and I was just like, man, why does my foot hurt so much? And I was like, but so I just kind of took it easy the rest of the day. Unfortunately, that meant that I did cancel some plans. I missed a live show that Jessie wanted to go to. She still went and met a bunch of her friends there at the Crit Show. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of that. It's like a podcast thing. But unfortunately, I didn't do it. And most importantly, I got 3 more street passes on day 2. Let's go, baby! Let's go! And none of them were from the same people as day 1, which was surprised me. Day 3, my final day of Gen Con. Had a wonderful breakfast again. Like, look at this, it's so good. It was so good, man. That was like the shredded beef and potatoes and peppers, and this egg was cooked so perfectly. Had a little mimosa, and you can see Jessie's breakfast over there. She let me try it. Best pancakes I've ever had. Room service is incredible sometimes. Oh, I love it. We saw the dinosaur migration. You know, occasionally they do move in herds. It's true. They went out that way down to the convention center, and then about half an hour later, they all came back, and they were like roaring the whole time. It was goofy. I didn't really have much of a plan for that day either. I saw this mini, which I don't think is for a specific system, but it just looked fucking crazy. I had to take a picture of this thing. It's huge. These are like normal mini sizes, and this guy was just big, and I just loved him. He's just like a funny little spider ball weirdo. Look at his fingers. Ooh, I love him. I would have bought him if I had any use for it whatsoever. We saw the prototype of the Don't Starve board game, and talked to one of the, I think it was one of the designers, or at least one of the guys running the Kickstarter for it that's coming up next month. It seemed cool. I don't know a whole lot about Don't Starve myself, but he was like, yeah, they were working directly with the developers to really bring like a lot of the mechanics of the video game in. It's got like some sort of overarching campaign with story stuff going on that's like canon to the video game. I don't know what that means, but that sounds cool. And another thing that it's like, I'm not really a Night Vale person. I've heard a podcast, but there's a role-playing game, which sounds like a crazy thing to make. Again, I don't really know much about any of this other than I was on Tumblr back when it was huge. So, like, osmosis, I absorbed a little bit of it existing. But that's kind of it. Night Vale. It looked like, I liked the visual design of the purple. I thought it was nice. And also, I met Leonardo. He was, a bit more stiff in person than I expected, but, you know, very polite, very polite. And, why is he so pissed? I mean, if you were standing like this for, like, 12 hours a day for the entire convention, you wouldn't be happy either. And I picked up this board game, which, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, a Sonic thing, that sounds kind of cute. And then they were like, hey, at Gen Con, if you buy this, you get this, which has a blank character spot on it, so that you can play as your OC in this Sonic game. And I was like, oh, I have to buy it. So now I have Sonic Roll, which seems really cute from what I looked through it. There's also, and this is driving me crazy because I'm the kind of person who will wait and listen to the instructions. There's a sealed part of the instruction manual that you're not allowed to open until you collect all the Chaos Emeralds. And I'm like, what? How are you putting that in like a dice rolling game? So I don't know what's in there. I'm assuming it's like instructions for Supersonic or something. But it's really funny. There's like different little scenario things, like 4 of them. So one is like Green Hill, and at the end you fight, Egg Robo. One's like Stardust Speedway, and at the end you fight Metal Sonic. That kind of thing. I'll achieve my super form. Yes! Finally! Finally! I'll become Hyper Octo Genius. No, so the Chaos Emeralds are like, you're supposed to play it in this campaign mode where you kind of like play through the different zones in order and beat each boss, and then like as you're going through, you get chances to get the Chaos Emeralds. So you might not even get them all in a single playthrough. It's like an adventure board. Yeah, kind of. It seems pretty cool. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to messing with that. These character abilities on this OC one are a good example of like each character has their own unique set of abilities. So this is actually adding like a legit like additional playable character who works differently too. It's not just like you can draw your little guy and they work the same as Sonic. It's like no, it's its own thing. It's like it's got Sonic, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails. I saw some people online have like designed like fan cards to play as like Shadow and Rouge and stuff, which is cute. I have no idea how balanced any of that is though, because I haven't played the game, but I'm looking forward to messing with that sometime. And let's see, I got some deck boxes and stuff for my Gundam cards, kind of just to get them home safely, because I didn't bring anything with me. Before I went to the convention, I didn't realize the Gundam trading card game was going to be there, like, in that way, so I was like, I'm not buying anything. I don't need to bring, like, deck protectors or whatever, so I had to buy some. We got, like, kind of cheap ones, like a little, like, $10 one for most of the cards, and, like, a $6 one for just holding the deck. But they're nice. They're nice. I don't have any pictures of them. I probably should have taken a picture of those, but it's fine. I also hung out with a friend from high school. He was actually my little bro's best friend back in the day, but a good friend of mine too, who I didn't know was going to be at Gencon until I was there, and talking on like my Discord with some of my old friends. Not my stream Discord, a private one. But and it was like, oh yeah, I got this Gundam stuff at Gen Con, and he was like, what? I'm at Gen Con. Let's meet up and play this thing. So we did. What is this? James Bond. Get out of here, James Bond. Give me different music. Meh. It doesn't want to give me a different music. It's so slow when I skip tracks sometimes. There we go. I didn't play Wingspan with them because we picked up a copy of Wingspan, but it wasn't like right after we played it. It wasn't until like later that day actually. I met up. We played the DC deck building game, which was cool. DC Comics thing. I played as Mr. Freeze, which let me like freeze cards and stuff. I didn't do very well, but it was a cool game. And one that we actually have here and just have never played. Arnold, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Yeah. That must have been why they were so scared every time they ran past us. But yeah, it was a fun game. And it's actually one that we've got like a copy of here that one of my girlfriends bought forever ago, and it's still here. And we haven't played, but chill out. I now want to play it because it seems very fun and not too complicated. It's a cool little game. But that was the final day of Gen Con for me. This was from the morning when we were getting ready to leave. And of course, on the way home, we picked up the most important thing on the trip. A Shooter McGavin cup promoting Happy Gilmore 2 from Subway. I'll always treasure this. I'll always treasure my Subway Shooter McGavin Happy Gilmore 2 commemorative cup. It's the most important thing that you can get on the Gen Con trip, I think. Truly. Just look at him.